My journey from ordinary to extraordinary, from Birmingham streets to big success.
My name is Jai. I come from a simple background in Birmingham, in the UK. I grew up on Washwood Heath Road. It is not a rich area, but it is full of life, culture, and strong people. My story is not about luck. It is about hard work, patience, and belief. I want to tell you my story in a simple and honest way.
Early life.
I was born in a small house. My parents worked very hard. My father had a job in a factory, and my mother worked part-time in a shop. We did not have much money, but we had enough to live. As a child, I did not think about success. I only thought about school, friends, and helping my family. Sometimes life was not easy. There were days when my parents worried about bills. I could see it in their faces. Even though we did not have much, my parents always told me one thing: work hard and your life will change. At that time, I did not fully understand these words, but later they became very important to me.
School days.
I went to a local school near my home. At first, I was an average student. I was not the best in class, and I was not the worst. I was just in the middle. But I had one problem. I was shy. I did not speak much in class. I was afraid of making mistakes. When teachers asked questions, I often stayed quiet. One day, my teacher said to me, "Jai, you are quiet, but I think you can do more. You just need to try." That sentence stayed in my mind for a long time. I started to think, what if I try harder? What if I stop being afraid? So slowly, I began to change.
Discovering my interest.
When I was around 14 years old, I found my interest in computers. It started very simply. I used the computer at school to search things on the internet. At first, I only used it for homework. But then I became curious. How do websites work? How do apps work? How do people create these things? I started to explore more. I watched videos. I read simple articles. I did not understand everything, but I kept learning. We did not have a good computer at home. So sometimes I stayed longer at school just to use the computer. Sometimes I went to the library. It was not easy, but I enjoyed it.
Facing difficulties.
Life was not always smooth. There were many challenges. Some people around me did not believe in big dreams. They said, "People like us don't go far. Just find a normal job and live a normal life." At first, these words made me feel small. I started to doubt myself. But then I thought about my parents. They worked every day without giving up. They never complained. They always tried their best. So I asked myself, if they can work so hard, why can't I? That question gave me strength.
Working hard.
From that point, I became more serious about my studies. I made a simple plan. Study every day. Practice computer skills. Improve my English. Ask questions when I don't understand. I did not try to be perfect. I only tried to be better than yesterday. Some nights I felt tired. Some days I wanted to give up. But I reminded myself, success takes time. I also started to speak more in class. At first, my voice was not strong, but slowly I gained confidence. Mistakes were no longer my enemy. They became my teacher.
College and learning more.
After school, I went to college. I chose a course related to computing. At college, things became more serious. The work was harder. The subjects were deeper. But I was ready. I spent many hours studying. I also started learning online. There were many free resources. I used them every day. I learned about programming, web development, problem solving. Sometimes I did not understand anything. I felt confused. But I did not stop. I learned one important lesson. You don't need to understand everything in one day. You just need to keep going.
First failures.
Not everything went well. I applied for internships, but I got many rejections. Some companies did not reply. Some said no. Each rejection hurt me. I started to feel like I was not good enough. One night, I sat alone and thought, maybe they are right. Maybe I am not good. But then I remembered my journey. I remembered the boy who was too shy to speak. I remembered the student who stayed late at school to use a computer. I realized something. I have already come far. I cannot stop now. So I tried again.
Small wins.
After many attempts, I got my first small opportunity. It was not a big company. It was a small local business. But for me, it was very important. I worked on simple tasks. I made small websites. I fixed small problems. It was not perfect work, but it was real experience. For the first time, I felt, I am doing something meaningful. This gave me confidence.
Big dreamer.
During this time, I had a dream. I wanted to work at a big company. One name always came to my mind. Google. It felt like a very big dream, almost impossible. But I did not laugh at my dream. I respected it. I told myself, even if it is difficult, I will try.
Preparing for the goal.
I knew that I needed strong skills, so I made another plan. Practice coding every day. Solve problems. Build projects. Learn from mistakes. I also improved my communication. I practiced speaking clearly and confidently. I prepared for interviews. I learned how to answer questions. It was not easy, but I was focused.
Applying to Google.
The day came when I decided to apply to Google. I was nervous. I thought, what if I fail? What if I am not good enough? But I also thought, what if I succeed? So I applied. After some time, I got a reply. I was invited for interviews. My heart was beating fast.
The interview process.
The interviews were challenging. They asked technical questions. They asked about problem solving. They also asked about my journey. At some moments, I felt stuck. I did not know the answer. But I stayed calm. I did my best. I remembered something important. They are not looking for perfection. They are looking for effort and thinking. So I explained my ideas clearly.
Waiting.
After the interviews, I had to wait. Waiting was the hardest part. Every day I checked my email. Every day I felt nervous. I kept thinking, did I do enough?
The moment.
One day I received an email. My hands were shaking. I opened it slowly, and I saw the words, "We are happy to offer you a position." I could not believe it. I read it again and again. I felt happy. I felt proud. I felt emotional. I thought about my parents. I thought about my journey. I thought about every struggle.
Sharing the news.
I told my parents. My mother smiled with tears in her eyes. My father stayed quiet for a moment. Then he said, "I knew you could do it." That moment was very special to me. It was not only my success, it was our success.
Life at Google.
Working at Google was a new experience. Everything was bigger. Everything was faster. I met talented people. I learned new things every day. At first, I felt small again. But this time, I was not afraid. I knew how to grow. I asked questions. I worked hard. I stayed humble.
Looking back.
When I look back at my life, I see a simple path. A boy from Washwood Heath Road. A student with doubts. A learner who never gave up. A man who worked hard. I did not become successful in one day. It took time, patience, and effort.
My message.
If you are reading my story, I want to tell you something simple. You do not need a perfect start. You do not need to be the best. You only need hard work, patience, belief. Your background does not decide your future. Your actions do.
Final thoughts.
I am still learning. I am still growing. Success is not the end. It is a journey. Even today, I remind myself, stay simple, stay focused, keep working. My name is Jai, and this is my story. And that's where we'll leave it for today. Please do remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and share the podcast with your friends and family. It really does make a tremendous difference, and we're most grateful for your support.